So welcome to our weekly demo. Are you guys, just out of curiosity, are you guys already using RepCo and here for the demo, or are you not using it yet and thinking about getting on board, or current user? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna share my screen and walk through everything in RepCo. If you need me to slow down or go into more detail on anything, feel free to post in the chat or interrupt me, and I'll go into a little bit more detail there. We've got, make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. Sorry, it's not giving me that green box, but I'm pretty sure I've got the right screen. One sec. There we go. Screen 3. Perfect. All right, so basically, I'll start off with the agency features and then move into just like the general functionality. So when you're logged in, here's our demo account. Basically, the agency features kind of exist outside of businesses. So when you first set up an account, probably, assuming that you're an agency looking to resell RepCo, probably the first thing you're going to want to do is create a brand. So a brand basically is your agency. So a brand could be like myagency.com or whatever. In my case, I run an SEO agency called First Rank, and so my brand is First Rank Reviews. And so you'd come in here and basically, we have a ton of brands in here because it's a demo account. You can have as many brands as you want. If you want to have a specific brand for specific niches or different agencies, that's fine. But most of our customers create one brand. So basically, when you add the brand, you put in the name of your agency, what subdomain you want to use. So it'd be like reviews.agency probably. And then a sender name to use for system emails for any sort of password resets or anything like that. And then your logo. And then you would add the brand, and then you come back to this page. This is actually the flow on this is going to change a little bit in the future. But once you come back here, you need to click on this eye here and configure a few DNS records. So basically, these are for email sending. We use Mailgun as our email sender. So you'd have to configure these DNS records with your registrar. If you need help with that, feel free to reach out to our live support. There's chat support in the corner here, and they'll be able to help. And sorry, I missed that actually on the actual brands page. There's also this CNAME record to create for the brand. And then basically what you get is a page where people can log in. Whoops. So like, this is just an example that I had. So here would be a page where people can log in and either sign up potentially or sign in to a white labeled experience under your agency. If you don't want them to be able to sign up, I'll show you. There's kind of two ways of using this, and I'll show you that because the other example that I'll give you is this one where we're not actually selling through the site. We're just using it as a white label. And so this one, they'd just get a sign in page. But not, there wouldn't be pricing and stuff there. So, basically, the reselling center, this is kind of what I was talking about. So there's two ways to use this. One way would be like, say you run an agency, you're already billing your clients for a number of services, and you're going to add in.
I know you didn't. I'm sorry.
This. One sec. So you're going to add in this as another service that you're going to bill through the outside of the platform. So you basically just come in here and create your user accounts for your clients and send them their login information. Alternatively, if you want to sort of sell this more like your own SaaS product, as like a foot in the door product, you can go to the reselling center and create billing plans where you can choose how much you'd like to charge for locations, extra locations, additional SMS credits, additional email credits. And then you put in your Stripe API keys here. and it basically, configures it like this one, where clients can actually sign up, pay directly through the platform, upgrade, downgrade, cancel, do whatever they want without your input. And basically you would collect the money, and then it would update your billing agreement with us to reflect that on the back end. And then basically it's just billing page, team page where you can add users under an agency or under a business. We have a Zapier integration here. And then this is where you configure notifications too on a per user level, which I'll get into in a minute. So that's kind of the agency side of things. The actual software itself is, I like to say that we do probably, a good chunk of the important stuff that are much more competitive, much more expensive competitors do. So like if you look at like Bird Eye or Podium, like we don't have necessarily like quite as many features, but we're like a fraction of the cost. Instead of, at 100 or 200 bucks a month for a seat, we're starting at $25 for the first one, and then $15 additionally after that. So it's pretty cheap. Basically, everything exists under business. You could create a business here. These are your clients. This is a business that actually wants to generate reviews. And under this business container, you can create locations. So basically a location. So a business isn't actually a billable entity. Business is just a container. The locations are where you want to generate reviews. So if it's a single location business like this one, you just have one location under your business. But if you have a business with many locations, then you can do joint reporting between them and have like unified branding elements and stuff, which is nice. So basically inside of a business, here's your locations. You go in and add a location, which would require the business name, the address, and then you choose which review profiles we want to generate reviews on. So we natively support, I think, around 80 platforms right now. If there's something that's not on here that you want to generate reviews on, you can create a custom link as well, where you'd put in just the name of the platform, the link, and the logo for that platform, and then you'll be able to generate reviews on that platform also. However, we won't be able to sync in the reviews from that platform if it's not on this list. And then, so you basically choose the platform, and then add in either the URL of the profile where we're generating reviews, or the place ID if it's a Google business profile. Again, if you need help finding the place ID, feel free to click on the support tab. There's a button here to help find it as well. But for service area businesses, sometimes it can be a little confusing. And then there's the campaigns. So campaigns are really how we're going to ask our customers for reviews, or our clients' customers if we're an agency. So in a campaign, we have, let me show you a live campaign here. So there's basically a message configuration, configure messages, where we're going to send out either SMS or email messages in sequence requesting feedback from customers. So these basically, as soon as a contact is added to a campaign, this sequence starts. So in most cases, the first message will go out immediately. We'd send out, maybe a text message right away, and maybe we want to say, hi, contact first name. Thank you for coming to business name. Please leave a review, and then a link to the review page. These are the variables that we have to work with: first name, last name, email, phone name, and then the feedback page is the page that we want them to land on. So that's the link. And then maybe we want to send them a follow-up, so we could wait, 1 day and then send a follow-up maybe by email or another text message, asking for feedback. So you can build these out however you want. They're totally customizable. And they do terminate if somebody leaves feedback. So if someone clicks on the first one, leaves feedback, they're not going to get a second email asking them for feedback. So then the feedback page that we're sending them to, also completely customizable. I don't know if anybody here in the demo works with clients in different languages, but kind of a big thing for us was being able to support different countries and languages. So every field in this feedback page is customizable, including like what the send button says, and you know, if we need to request their phone or email, which I'll show you in a minute, like basically the labels for those. So everything can be customized in any language. And also, actually, I'm just going to jump out of here real quick, but that was the other thing under reselling. If you're an agency outside of the US, you can bill your clients in any of these currencies as well, which is kind of nice. Just to go back to business. So back to the campaign here. So on the feedback page, basically most people want the, you know, the feedback stars are kind of the only thing that really needs to be there. And then we can have just to describe your experience. We can get rid of that if we want, or we can add lots of custom fields. There's a full form builder here. You can add text fields, text areas, drop downs. So that's where, you know, if you want to find out who was your salesperson or how did you hear about us, you can add as many questions as you want in here. And these can all be dragged and dropped and reordered. And then, you know, we can change the background color if we want. And then the feedback threshold is where we'd select. So maybe we only want to ask for reviews from people that left positive internal feedback. So we could set that review threshold to say 4 or more. So it'd say if they leave 4 or more stars on this page, it's going to ask them for, they're going to hit this positive feedback page where it's going to ask them to share their review on one of the platforms that we're trying to generate reviews on. And then we have this, if you leave this describe your experience field here, which is called the review text input label, then it gives them an option on this page to just copy the text that they just wrote on the last page and then paste it on one of the platforms that we're trying to generate feedback on. If they don't meet that positive threshold, so say they leave you a 1-star review, we can send them to the negative page, where we'd say, you know, thanks for your feedback, maybe we'll get in touch with you. And this is kind of where that notifications tab comes up, is that we can, you can set a user notification that maybe you want to be notified instantly every time somebody leaves a review, but more likely you only want to be notified instantly if somebody leaves you a negative review or negative feedback. So you can set that to negative only, and then you'll be notified on those. And then can also add here, sorry, we can also add review gathering redirect. So basically this is certain platforms have a terms of service, Google being one of them, that they don't want you to necessarily gate reviews, that you can't only ask people for reviews that have left you positive feedback. So in this case, we generally add to the negative page, you know, or if you want to leave a review, click here, and then, you know, to leave a review, whatever, text before, text after. And then that link actually just takes them back to the positive page where they have an opportunity to leave a review. So that's optional depending on what platforms you're working with, but I would recommend checking the terms of service to make sure that we're in compliance depending on the platform. And then, sorry, back to campaigns. So that's the feedback page, configure messages. Then for adding contacts, we have a number of different options. You can upload contacts into a CSV file. And you can also set settings here in settings to set maximum for number that you want to send per day. So that's generally just like some review platforms will filter reviews if you generate too many on one day. So maybe, you know, if you want to upload a big list, maybe you want to cap that. Also, we have options, which I'll get into in the branding section, where users can send emails from their own branded email address. And in that case, you know, if their email is not warmed up, maybe you want to limit that to, you know, sending 50 a day so that they can't just upload massive CSVs. At the end of the day, though, like, we generally don't recommend that people come in here and upload their entire customer list, because it's kind of weird to get a review request from somebody that you did business with like months ago. So generally we'd rather that they just kind of start doing it, you know, from now forward, and maybe they want to do this weekly, or use one of the other options. So the other options, we connect with Zapier. Also, it's a generic Zapier profile, so it doesn't, nothing ever links back to RepCo if you're white labeling. Everything is either generic or branded under your brand. And so a lot of our clients will connect with an accounting software, like they'll use like Xero or QuickBooks Online, so that when an invoice gets paid, it automatically is going to add people to the queue in RepCo. And then also they can just add people one-off. They can just first name, last name, phone, email. And there's also an unauthenticated form, so they can open this public form basically, and they could save this as a bookmark or as a shortcut on their desktop or on their phone. And then they can just, if it's like a one-man locksmith company, and they want to go out and send people a review after they see them, they can just enter their information in here and it'll send it. And then also we have options to here for a direct link. So maybe a QR code. So this would be like for businesses that don't necessarily collect their customer data. Like a restaurant might print this on a table tent. And then when people click on this, they get to the same feedback page, except this feedback page also captures their phone and email, which the other one doesn't need to, because obviously we already have that information if we're sending it out to them. And then also, you can also add this to a website. So there's an embed code where you can add a feedback widget directly to their website. So you could have like a leave a review page on their website that has this feedback widget. I would definitely recommend that if using the feedback widget, make sure that you are following terms of service for the platforms that you're generating reviews for, because that's kind of broadcasting the system out there. And then settings, so we can set to only send during business hours. So we can set a time zone, and then we can say only send during business hours. So even if somebody pays an invoice at 3 in the morning and it goes through Zapier, it's not going to send them a text at 3 in the morning. It'll wait until 10 a.m. the next day in your time zone to send them that text. And it won't send on weekends. Yeah, there's some stats here. Then under feedback, this is where that internal feedback comes. So anyone that fills out that feedback page, we can see all that feedback in here. And reviews is where the live reviews from platforms get pulled in. So this is where those Google reviews show up. So this is feedback is internal, reviews are external live review sites. I missed something under campaigns. I just wanted to mention the sending queue. I kind of skipped. There's nothing in this one, but this is where you can see all of the contacts that have been added, whether they're active or completed. And if there were any errors sending for any reasons, those show up in here. You can also see in here how far through this, like what stages they made it to. So you can see if they clicked the link, if they left feedback, what their star rating was, what the last email was sent. So there's some data that shows up in this section. And then the review widget, this is one of our newer features. This is for publishing reviews on your website. So you can go create a review widget. This is the floating toast widget. So basically, I'm just going to show the test view. So I'm sure you've seen these before. You load up a site, it pops up in the corner, shows recent reviews. And you can configure this. Again, you can filter this for only show 5-star reviews or only show 4 and higher reviews. You can rotate them from new to old to new, random. I think they rotate every 30 seconds with a new one. And then you can customize a little bit, how this looks with these options. So, we can display date or no date, user profile picture, no profile picture, just stars. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Or don't show what platform it was from. So a few options there. And then you can also, you can do center, right, and then under appearance, review sources. So you can choose maybe you only want to show Google reviews or you want to show all the platforms. So that's an option. Appearance, we have a default light mode and dark mode, but you can also do a custom. So you can edit these you know, to look really ugly if you want, or match your brand colors. So you make the stars black. I don't know, whatever. You can edit these however you want. And then you get an embed code. I'd have to save this before I get the embed code, which requires naming it. Create, and that'll give me the embed code. So this goes on the site, and then that'll work. And then we just launched this week the embeddable div. So right now we only have one format for embeddable div. Let's change the appearance back to something better. So the embeddable div format currently is a slider that rotates reviews. And this one, you can choose how many reviews you want to rotate, 3, 5, or 7, whether you want controls or buttons, and same filtering options. And we're working on more displays for this. So in the next few weeks, we'll probably have a grid option where you could show like a 3x5 grid, or we're building this out more and more. But we have our first embeddable div, which is this one. And then reports. So report templates. Test report. You can create to go out daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Say monthly is probably pretty common. You can choose a start date for reports. Maybe I want to always send them out on the 1st of the month. So let's start it on March 1st. This is where multi-location comes in. So if you have multiple locations, you could set individual reports for each location, or you could do an aggregate report that reports on all the locations. You can add users here, so tests at user, whatever. So they don't actually have to be users. This could be anybody that you want to send reports to. And then you can format these. So basically, these are all the options: reviews generated, review stats, reviews by site, rating, breakdown, rating, actual feedback received, review comments, or feedback comments. And these can be turned on or off, and also reordered however you'd like. And then we have an email message body. So this is where you would choose what the client sees. So we'd say, hi, client, here is your monthly report for the ABC review management system, whatever. We create a template. And then, so this isn't going to run until March 1st. So the next date, March 1st, but I'm just going to go ahead and generate one now. And since this is a demo business, I'm not sure how much data we're actually going to have here, but there's a link to the live report, and you can download a PDF report. And so this is basically aggregate number of reviews, Google, Facebook. So they have 0 Facebook reviews. These obviously look a lot better when there's actually data in here. This is over the last, they got 0 over the last 31 days. So anyway, these are obviously much prettier reports when there's actually data to be shown. Fortunately, actually, this is a real business that we're doing. So, but they don't use RepCo. It's just an example that we pulled in. So they have gotten quite a few Google reviews in the last 31 days. So anyway, that's what reports look like. And then branding is where we choose. So by default, emails go out from generic email. And we would send, you could choose a sender name and a reply to email address. But if clients want, they can add a custom email at their domain, which we'll add here. And then they just have to go in and set some DNS records for Mailgun to send on their behalf. And they can send their emails directly from their branded email. And so in here, we can configure that. We can choose. So this is interesting. So if you, sometimes like in my agency, I've had a client that starts on, they're an SEO customer and I include this for free, and then they cancel their SEO, but they want to keep using the software. So in that case, we come in here and select payment method required. And that means that next time they log in, they're going to have to put in a credit card number before they can use the software, even if they've been using it for free up until now. And to do that, you have to select what brand they're under. The brand has to have a billing plan. And then also countries outside of Canada and the US, texts can send from alphanumeric sending aliases. So let's say we're in Australia, we could send from business name as the sending alias for text messages. And then what's going to be coming here shortly is in the US, the top 4 mobile providers have come together and they're requiring a trust hub verification for businesses to be able to send text messages to anybody that's on their network. So currently that doesn't apply to toll-free numbers. So by default, we're sending through toll-free numbers, but we anticipate that in the future that might apply to toll-free numbers as well. So what's going to be here probably by next week, we've been working on it since December, is a trust hub verification module where they can put in their business name, their EIN, like there's a few things they have to put in and get verified. And then they can register their own phone number, and that phone number is registered to them. It's bound to their business. It can have their local area code, and the deliverability should be even better. Although we haven't had an issue with the toll-free numbers, but it's kind of future-proofing everything. So that'll be there. And that is about it for walkthrough. I seem to have bored everybody on the demo away except for Brett. So because other Brett is actually works here. So but I don't know, Brett Drinkwater, if you have any questions, feel free to just unmute and talk to me because there's no one else here. Maybe no questions. Maybe I lost Brett too, but he just didn't sign out.
Perhaps. That was a good demo, though. We should put this up on YouTube.
All right. Thanks, Brett. Well, yeah, I've got a recording. We'll throw it up on YouTube for replays. All right.
Oh, actually, Brett Drinkwater is typing into the chat. I'm happy with the product. Just wanted to watch what updates had come out. Loving the product.
Awesome. Good to get positive feedback. Sounds good. All right. Well, yeah, we'll post this up on YouTube and
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
bye.